Thank you, Chris, and thank you, SCCCI, for inviting us to this event. So let me start by first, talking a little bit about or recap the why we are here today. How unified business management system can help you grow your business and cut costs. All right, and obviously Oracle NetSuite is one such vendor in the market that offers a unified business management system. All right, so I'm not going to talk too much about Oracle NetSuite. You can look it up on your own, what we do and what we provide. All right, but just going to basically start off by introducing myself. I'm the general manager for Oracle NetSuite ASEAN, based out of Singapore, obviously working from home these days. And I've been with the company since 2017 with more than 20 years of experience in field sales, solution selling to business organizations, all right? And I've been through a number of IT companies that you can see there. Definitely in all these were basically sales management role, and of course seen quite a number of companies transform as well, all right? So I want to take some time to go through the program agenda so that you know what I'll be presenting. I will talk a little bit about system hairball, explain what it is, and of course give you a very quick introduction of Cloud ERP or Enterprise Resource Planning, which is in a nutshell a business management solution, and of course what to look out for in case you are looking to evaluate any cloud ERP vendors out there, right? We will leave question and answer towards the end after both of us have presented, both myself and James have presented, and that will be a smoother flow, right? Now, before I start talking about what those cloud ERP stuff is about, but let me just kind of put across a safe harbor statement, which we normally do before our presentation. All right, today's session by me is intended for information purposes only and discussion, and not to be incorporated into any contract with Oracle in the future, all right? So what is a system hairball? You heard me mentioning that now. A system hairball situation, is nothing new. I've been in this industry for so long that even till now, I have seen business owners get themselves into a hairball situation, or what was called previously islands of information or silos, all right? Department silos and so on, right? Well, basically it's just a situation whereby disparate systems, right, evolve in any businesses, and this becomes very challenging for businesses to run business, right? Now, the side effects of this situation is that actually what happens is that, things end up, convoluted, all right? And instead of helping the situation, it makes the situation worse, all right? And you get, for example, things slow down because there's no single source of truth of data, all right? For example, multiple versions of the same data, such as customer record appearing in one system and also appearing in another system. And the worst part is they are not the same, all right? So that's just exactly what system hairball situation is. So how do business owners find themselves in this kind of situation? Now, it simply starts with a any new business or any business that come about and or still started up, and I give you maybe an example just to make it something that will resonate better with you. So, for example, I am a founder of a new business, or came up with some idea, and I think of producing a coffee machine, all right, that will cost $50 or below $50 in the marketplace, right? And I will work with the major coffee makers to produce coffee capsules that will be compatible with my coffee machine, right? So Sure, all right. Many of us want to, become the next big enterprise. So we got fabulous idea that we want to quickly be able to develop these ideas and make it real, right? And then either evolve it to a product or a service that will be a key differentiator out there, and we want to market it out to as many customers as possible. Now, then what happens is they will become a need for a financial application to be able to manage my money inflow, outflow, etc. Right, and typically this will involve the first investment of some kind of a software application to manage my system, right? So it could be in the form of accounting software, or it could be whatever, or maybe some people say a spreadsheet will do. But after a period of time, things will get probably more complex. You may outgrow it. You may need more other functionalities, and true, all right, because you will potentially need to have a customer relationship management system, or CRM, to be able to manage your prospects, to be able to manage your leads and opportunity, and maybe even do some marketing campaign to be able to track through where these leads are coming from, that were those leads that want your coffee machines, right? So many things, all right, that will come about. And not just that, because you're producing a product here, a product that will be kept somewhere, in for storage space or warehouse, whereby you need to manage the inventory, right? So there will be a few things that evolve eventually, all right, and the business will get into a situation whereby more and more more complex and more different systems that will serve different needs. Then the question will always be asked after that is, do you really need so many of these different systems, right? That kind of stuff. So the slide here just goes to show the other possibilities that come about, right? As the business evolve, because there will be more needs, there will be more challenges that need to be addressed, all right? And then you soon end up, getting other stuff. Back to my example of this coffee machine, right? Next step of the growth is to be able to sell online. Sell online means that, you need some kind of marketing campaign to run promotion, both online and even during events, so that, you get as many customers out there as possible, right? So then you end up having to think about investing in the e-commerce package that can allow you to sell online, collect payment, right? And then at the same time, fulfillment of those orders, right? And a separate system for marketing automation. So there's going to be a lot of different systems that you can imagine that will come about as your needs start to evolve, right? And unfortunately, there isn't a native integrations mostly between these systems. There will be potentially some kind of connector that you will need to invest in to get your vendor to be able to help you invest in. So then you start to wonder, what could I have done differently to avoid some of these complexity, right? But before I go on, I just want to cite a few more examples here, just to illustrate the point and to make you convinced that actually there's a lot of systems involved for this coffee machine example that I just brought up to you. Right? You will need to take care of warranty. You need to make sure that your salespeople are paid commission on time and paid correctly, etc. So there's a lot of stuff that you need to do. Not forgetting that in order to keep track of the business, you also want to be able to have some reporting tools to be able to tell you who are your top, distributor for your coffee machine, assuming you are planning to do distribution of this machine through some retailer, etc. Right? So there will be these kind of needs. And these examples just go to show that this system hairball situations start to get more and more complex. Okay. Now, what we have seen in that, talking to customers and so on, that when we ask them, typically how many systems do they use, it's not surprising to hear them saying that they have, between 15 to 20 kind of system, some even more than that, right? And this is really the harsh reality, all right? And so why am I sharing all these to you? Because this is really, really reality out there that I think some of you who are on today's webinar can relate to, all right? Now, just want to recognize this thing. Connecting to different systems is challenging. It's not something that everyone out there can do. All right, there are experts that can do this. They do this every day, and they are really good at that. All right, for any given business, the key focus is really on the business and not on stuff involving connecting to different systems. All right, this is not really a piece of cake. It is tough. Right, it is challenging. Now, the second thing I want to point out here is that applications have their own life cycles and product direction. So we try to connect application from someone who developed it, say a developer A, and then another developer B. They don't necessarily have to talk because they have their own life cycle. So they have their own native, language that they will develop, and all these things have got their own life cycle. So it's not really something simple, right? Now, I want to also cite something here, which is actually adds to the complexity. Today, you see more and more of so-called cloud-based application. A lot of applications out there are getting, developed based on a cloud concept, and they say that look, they are now cloud-based application, and because they claim they themselves as cloud, and right, this hairball situation has not been eliminated in any way. In actual fact, it also becomes a trigger for the situation to get more complex. Each of these cloud-based applications are typically kind of point solution that need to solve one or two problems areas, and that's it, right? And take for example a reporting tool. Take for example something, say, hey, payment, right? They just address payment challenges and so on. So because it's being claimed as cloud-based, and cloud-based means that typically they are paid very small, low fee, and then what happens is that upfront cost is not high. Most businesses start to just go ahead and sign them up, etc. So end up the hairball situation potentially gets complex, and maybe even worse, right? Because of easy way of acquiring some of these applications without considering what the implication could be. All right. So I just want to put it out there that this is still very prevalent today, right? Now, it doesn't have to be that way. And why do I say that, right? It doesn't have to be, due to the fact that your challenges, your needs, etc. You just go and acquire. You might want to just take a pause and try to understand what, at the end of the day, are you trying to achieve here, right? And very, very, relevant to today's theme is really about how do you ensure that you are able to grow without being stifled by this complexity, the convoluted kind of systems, airball situation, and yet at the same time able to help you to reduce costs and cut costs, right? So I am just going to be introducing you something that's what we call Cloud ERP, all right? So allow me here to play a 1-minute video just to give you an idea of what Cloud ERP is. So just hang in there and I'll play the video.
Cloud Enterprise Resource Planning, or Cloud ERP, allows users to access critical financial and operational information and automate business processes over the internet. ERP software integrates essential business functions such as accounting, inventory and order management, human resources, and customer relationship management into one system. The heart of a cloud ERP solution is a shared database that allows different groups within an organization to access the same data catered to their specific needs. This unifies business processes and information, makes the organization more efficient, and improves collaboration across the entire organization. By using a cloud ERP solution, organizations can avoid upfront costs for all computing infrastructure and software licenses, minimize the cost of maintaining and supporting an ERP application, implement cloud ERP applications faster, and access the system and business data from anywhere at any time.
Okay, so you have seen the video. I just want to recap some of the points here. So cloud enterprise resource planning is really simply put a business management solution that actually runs on the vendor's cloud platform, right? And over the internet that you can access anywhere, anytime. And it provides you core functionalities such as financial and accounting. The video just now also shows other areas like sales, marketing. Yes, of course, there are modules that you can add on to it as well, all right? Depending on your needs. And then in some cases whereby you are from a specific industry, such as manufacturing, retail, all those are other modules that you potentially can add on to your business management solution, right? So I also want to mention here, especially for our Singapore customers here, we also work with partners that provide other human resource applications such as leave application, your payroll. All those, the beautiful part is that those are developed by the partner that can actually still work on our platform as well. All right. So that is something that is interesting for you to take note. Okay. So moving on to the next slide is that, so why would you want to consider cloud ERP, or why are businesses shifting to cloud ERP for the better, right? So there are at least 9 bullet points here that that you can actually read off, and it is really something that most businesses are feeling very compelling, especially even more so in this pandemic situation. All right, they are looking at implementing something really fast, quick, so that they're able to manage the solution of a business easily, quickly, right? And we have seen more implementation, in fact, during these last 12 months than the previous 12 months. So it just kind of gives you a understanding as to the scale of the severity of the pandemic, but at the same time, having something that can actually transform the business process quicker compared to what was before, right? So the other thing is innovation through frequent, easier updates or upgrades. All right, very similar in concept to mobile phones these days. When you are looking to upgrade, it is actually the same kind of situation whereby the upgrades is done automatically twice a year, all right, through our latest release, where we have got the latest features and functionalities to be able to help you to address new challenges. And the third point is really our flexibility through use of customization and configuration here. This is very, very simply put, a way for you to help yourself through getting certain areas or certain ways of doing things quicker, all right? So in the form of configuration, I mentioned just now, setting up teams to be able to run your business, to sell coffee machine. Each of these people that you bring on board to your team are basically could be different roles. Some could be in sales, some could be a CFO or finance manager. They are looking at different forms of data presented to them in different way. CFO or finance could be looking at, days sales outstanding, all right? How much do I have money out there not collected, all right? This sort of reports or dashboard may not necessarily interest another person within your team, maybe a storeman in a warehouse. They might not be keen to look at it. They want to look at different dashboard, for example, right? So very flexible and agile. You need to consider that. Does your system allow you to configure in that manner? All right. Extensibility and integration. All right. This is a very important one. You want to make sure that you do not want to invest in a solution that is like dead end, so to speak. It doesn't allow you to integrate with other functionalities that the ERP may not provide you. All right. So later on, I think when James presents his part, you know what I mean, and this is how important it is to be able to make sure that your platform does allow extensibility. All right. Growth and international expansion. Certainly, you want to make sure that you want to have a solution that allows you to grow, to cater to growth, cater to international expansion. Government Singapore is always encouraging businesses to grow, expand, go beyond our shores, and that is exactly what we want to make sure our businesses are aware of that, that they want to invest in a solution that allows them to grow. Right. Improved visibility is a very important area. All right, making sure that you have visibility of your data. All right, visibility of your business matrix. All these coming off from a single platform. Right. Scalability, as I talked a little bit just now, but scalability here also means in terms of your business volume, in terms of the number of users that you have. Today, you may start off with a team of 5. What if that team grows to 50 in the next 12, 18 months? Locations wise, right? Beyond just Singapore or even within Singapore, you have got multiple outlets. Is the system able to cater together? Right? Scalability also in the form of product SKU, all right, or services type and so on. Is your system able to cater to that? All right. Security and availability, which I will talk more later on. If times allow, I will actually talk more a little bit. Now, convenience, anytime, anywhere, with use of any device, whether it's iOS, Android, or even your Windows laptop or PC. Okay. I want to take a little bit of time just to go around these few boxes here. I want to go back to the earlier example. I am a founder of a new business, making the coffee machine. Now, I do not know what the future will look like, but I certainly want to make sure that this dream that I have is, eventually going to be transformed into a good revenue stream, right? So I start, with a team, all right, or idea, and then I slowly build up a team to make sure that I can actually scale this business up quickly. And this team is different functions, etc. As I was sharing with you just now, finance to sales to warehouse and so on. So I don't want to make sure that I don't lose this window of opportunity. By the same time, that this cloud ERP is able to help me to drive efficiencies quickly with automated processes. Real-time data, obviously, on my business, and someday when I might grow so big, I potentially could be acquiring some of my competitors, correct? And when I do acquire my competitors, I take over their businesses. I'll make sure that my business management solution is able to continue to take on those businesses and account for those businesses as well, as part of my overall group, right? And who knows, maybe at some point, my business could be attracting investors, the PE and VCs, right? Because they like my business model and they want to invest in my business. So I'll be asked to produce audited financial reports, etc., right, of my business performance. So can my system produce those reports quickly, and are these reports credible? Are these report well known? Am I producing a report that is acceptable to them because the business management solution is well endorsed in the market, all right, and recognized in the market, right? And lastly, being a cloud ERP as well, I can access my data anytime, anywhere, even working from home, all right? So this is exactly what this is about, right? Above all, we'll make sure that this business management system is not something that is heavy in terms of investment. I need to invest in servers, I need to invest in storage, etc. I need to cater to a disaster recovery, site, etc. None of that, because cloud ERP is not supposed to be heavy in terms of investment and so on, right? It's supposed to be low cost when it comes to infrastructure, low cost when it comes to maintaining it, right? In terms of having IT people to maintain it. It's not supposed to be that. So that is the beautiful part about the cloud ERP that you need to consider, right? Okay, so I think it is important for me, before I go into what to look out for in cloud ERP, I want to mention here is there's always this misunderstanding out there. They think that as long as cloud is the same, not quite, right? You don't call your solution a cloud solution just simply by moving an on-premise ERP. On-premise meaning those that used to be residing on your server within your office, that's called on-premise ERP, and then putting into a hosted server, and then you call that a cloud. No, it's not. That's not the reality. Is not the case. Secondly, there's this misconception. Oh, this is called a SaaS, software as a service. Software as a service, right? And they always say, oh, software as a service, because I attracted to it because it gives you monthly bills instead of having me to pay upfront $100,000 or $120,000 every month. I just pay $10,000, right? No, I don't think that is also right to think that way, right? Yeah, it may make your book look good because it's now OPEX, certainly. But it's not just because of getting monthly bills instead of paying upfront. That to me is the cloud. No, it's not the case. I think most importantly, a cloud, or what we call true cloud, is really a unique architecture delivering to you a unique value, right? A unique value. In this case, when I talk about cloud ERP, it is really about delivering to you business management service, right? Via the cloud or via the internet. And that is really what true cloud ERP is, right? Basically, this digital transformation offers us as technology vendors an opportunity to really offer to customers, all right, something that we never seen previously before, because it is a new way of doing things, right? Okay, so when you're looking for a public cloud solution, do be conscious of what is the service being delivered to you, right? And in this case here, shown on the left-hand side, the service being delivered to you is really the cloud ERP that we're delivering to you, as opposed to the right-hand side, whereby the cloud ERP application delivered to you, all right, although it's hosted on the cloud, you will see that the underlying layers of technology are really coming off from different vendors, potentially. The database could be coming from some other vendor A, and then operating system from some other vendor B, etc. Right? On the left-hand side, it is one single ownership of the vendor coming to you and delivering you the cloud ERP application as a service to you. Right? So hopefully this diagram explains it in a way to you. Why is this important? Simply because what if something goes wrong, right? What is the service that's delivered to you is not up to expectation, is not available for some reason because there's some downtime, right? You always hear about the hitch or there is some technical glitch, and it's not able to continue of delivering the service to you, and there's a downtime, right? So that is something, the reason why it's very important for you to understand the difference between a true cloud as well as sometimes what we call fake cloud, all right, or hosted cloud. Okay, I'm on to my final slide. I will actually want to reiterate this, all right? This is a very important thing for you to know. As I mentioned earlier, above the stack coming from one single vendor, how that software as a service, ERP service delivered, presented to you will help you to be able to manage your business, giving you the visibility and the security, right? Automation, right? To drive efficiencies you need to grow your business and reduce costs. Right? With that, thank you for listening in. Back to you, Chris.
Thank you, Peter, for your insightful sharing. Personally, I hope everybody is when they see your list of nine items, right? Why to choose a cloud ERP? I hope it actually brainstorm a lot of questions within the participants' mind, because I believe some of them may actually have implemented their own ERP system, and they are actually keen to see how to do better, basically. So I think if some of you have existing challenges on ERP systems, or some of things you wish to clarify, please take this time to actually enter your questions under the Q&A section, so that we will actually address them once James actually completed his presentation. So next up, we'll actually move on to James, who will actually be sharing us more on how automation can come about, especially in terms of a cloud ERP, to actually boost further efficiency. So without further ado, I shall hand over the time now to James for his own presentation. James, over to you.
All right, awesome. Thanks a lot. First of all, good afternoon to all of you, and thanks for attending this afternoon webinar. Also, I would like to take this chance to thank the Singapore Chinese Chamber of Commerce and Industry and NetSuite for inviting Workado to join this afternoon webinar. My name is James Chin. I look after Workado Partner and Alliance business in the Asia Pacific and Japan region. We work very closely with NetSuite and NetSuite Partner in this region to service our mutual customers. I think continuing from where Peter left off earlier, system halo actually would continue as business grow today because of the fact that customers are now better educated on the benefit of cloud or SaaS application, and there is a rapid adoption of such cloud applications in the market currently. Give you an example, and take Workado as an example, right? Globally, we are about 500 employees, and we use 150 applications within our organization. Yes, 150 applications. And this number will still continue to grow. Now, with all this increasing number of applications that we have purchased and used, the business now, run across multiple applications, including your good old Excel spreadsheet as well, not forgetting that, right? So to do a work or to complete a business process, one employee now need to log into multiple applications, remember the processes, remember the menu, which field in which application to click. Not only that, you will need to coordinate, notify, alert, chase the people who are using all different applications to just complete a task. In addition to that, many times you may need to do multiple entry of the same data to the different application. You may need to do a lot of exporting of data from one application, add data inside there, change some of the data inside there. When you're done, then you needed to import or upload it again to another application just to complete a business task itself. All this need to log into multiple applications, manual work for coordinations and follow up, multiple times of entry of data, export and import of data, may have a number of negative impact. I think one of the most obvious one is data silo. After you do so many multiple data entries and download and upload, import and export, you are not sure actually where is the true source of the data. And in the worst scenario, you even doubt, or trust the data that you have on hand. And valuable data does not reach the right user for decision making at the right time, right? And obviously, this have impact on processes. You ended up with a lot of inefficient processes, many repetitive and manual tasks prone to human error. It takes a longer time to complete work, of course, but it takes even longer time when you have a issue and you try to identify the root cause. Reporting can be a challenge and can be a nightmare, because right now when you put reporting together, just to make sure that, hey, the data is reliable on your reporting, data validation, reconciliation will need a lot of human resource and effort from time to time. And still, you may not be able to make the submission deadline. And any error discovered in the report will take a lot of effort and time to identify the root cause. Last but not least, in fact, that's the biggest impact to the business, is that you will have poor customer experience and satisfaction. You are not responsive or cannot handle, timely for any feedback or comment or complaint from the customer itself. And of course, you cannot, push out any innovative idea into the market that would impact you, winning the market share in the market itself. What are the options that people would try to solve such a issue in their environment? People have tried to buy more application. So wherever I have manual work, I would try to buy more applications to fill the gap, or I would throw more body, more resource at the problem to solve them manually, or relying on my IT or expensive engineering resource. Others have tried to hire more IT resource with different skill set, because right now I have more applications with more different technology that is in my environment itself. Or I would try to engage different vendor to solve different part of the problem. But all of us know that these are stopgap measure, and it definitely is not a solution that you can actually scale with it. So what are people trying to look for, generally and truly? If there's a way that we could connect all these applications that we have invested in and converge them with workflow to reduce manual work and tasks, to ensure data is provided timely, that most probably would help resolve our problem, major part of it. So is there such a solution in the market? The answer is yes. In the market, there's a category of solution called the automation and integration solution that could help you achieve such purpose itself. Automation and integration platform also have different name. Some call it middleware, and some call it integration platform, to help them do their work itself. So what you're looking at is that with this automation and integration solution, your applications are now connected with each other, right? And data is shared and synchronized based on the business processes, and through workflow, you can now automate approval and hands off of tasks from one person to another from a different department itself, right? So now you can greatly reduce your manual effort, reduce human error, reduce, get more timely in terms of getting back to your customers and getting more responsive to your customer requests as well. To give an example, using a software company like Workado, for example, when a software company receives a purchase order, and you can receive this purchase order, from your e-commerce platform, the company portal. It can be a marketplace that you use, it can be your mobile application, or even email from your customers that give you a purchase order. We call this a business event, right? So when this business event happen, when you receive a purchase order, you would like to have this business event automatically trigger a few business processes to be executed automatically and in parallel. So for example, when I receive a purchase order, I would like to start triggering the process of bringing the customer detail in my purchase order to update my customer relationship management system, right? So that I can continue to service and care for my customer. I would like to send a customer a welcome letter with onboarding schedule, and maybe at the same time automatically trigger a report and send this new win that we have to our management if this is a big deal that we have win. In parallel, we would like to update the customer details, the procurement detail, as well in our accounting software or ERP software, so that we can do invoicing according to the milestone payment agreed. Last but not least, we would also wanted to start the onboarding processes and provisioning the product, to our customer itself. All this should happen once the business event is triggered. That's when you receive a purchase order. And throughout the whole process, of course, you could have it straight through, but you can add on approval or human intervention whenever necessary. Such automation should not be only specific to a particular function or capability. It should be broad-based that cover all the business processes in your organization. We call this a wall-to-wall business automation. So, for example, in the finance department, just now we talk about procure to pay, but it can also cover any manual work or manual process or manual approval processes right now in your order to cash, in your due desk approval, in your exceptional discount approval. It can also cover the manual processes you have today in your accounts payable, account receivable, where you receive invoices and you needed to map it onto the purchase order that you issue to your vendor, or bank statement, mapping to the payment from your customer itself to do reconciliation. So these are all the use cases that are awesome for automation. But outside of finance, going into HR, use cases that are good for automation, which have a lot of manual process, are like your pre-hiring process. How do we select candidate, have a chat with candidate, identify the candidate, until we flow it to the hiring process, going through internal interview, and then till we select the candidate, onboard it, have the candidate go through all the learning and development process, going through the people management until that we offboard the employee itself. All this process currently, depending on your environment, would have quite a number of manual tasks within it, and these are all good use cases for automation as well. Not only in finance, HR, but you should go across in similar thoughts to your marketing, sales, customer service and support, as well as IT and operational area as well. Love to share of individual use cases in each of these business area if you are interested after this webinar itself. The objective with automation and integration really is to achieve self-services, right? And it should cover end-to-end processes across your multiple application. Last but not least, straight through as much as possible, but with human approval and intervention whenever necessary. That's really what you wanted to achieve with automation across your multiple applications or business processes itself, right? What I would like to do right now is actually to go through illustration via two demos to actually share with you how some of the customer have used these solutions to automate their processes within their environment. The first one is purchase requisition automation, where someone raises a purchase request. You need to go through approval process, You need to update, your accounting system, and then update the requester on the status of the purchase request itself. So let me go into the demo video.
The demo we're going to be looking at today is how we can use an integration automation tool to promote self-service amongst employees in an organization by bringing all of the work into a collaboration tool and effectively a single window. Specifically, we'll be looking at a purchase requisition use case where employees can request to purchase various items or even equipment. We start by keying in a command to communicate with a chatbot or a third-party application installed on this collaboration tool to kickstart our self-service request. The chatbot will then post a message back containing a list of requests segregated by the department or category for us to choose. In this scenario, we'll be looking at the finance category and also purchase requisition as the request. We can now leverage the collaboration tool's capabilities to provide user inputs, specifying what the details of our purchase request is from the item name, quantity, business purpose, and also when the due date is. Through the power of an integration automation tool, we can retrieve the data from an ERP system or a database to display all the items that are available for purchase in this drop-down here, and it makes it really easy for us to choose and select which item we're interested to purchase. To paint a scenario where an employee needs to purchase a new laptop, I'll proceed to just fill in some of the details right here. Upon clicking Submit, the integration automation tool then proceeds to create a purchase requisition request in an ERP system and adds all the details that the employee has just keyed in, and also subsequently sends a message to either a channel or a manager's chat window for approval. The total cost is also calculated and brought forward to the user. In this example, we're connecting to an ERP system called NetSuite, but this can be customized to any other type of ERP or even finance system such as QuickBooks or Xero. Now simulating the manager, we receive a new purchase requisition request, and again, all the details is brought forward to provide context of the request for the manager to read. We have the option to view the exact request that was created in the source system by clicking on the View link, and also we're presented with two buttons to either approve or reject this request. By clicking on the Approve button, the automation tool then proceeds to update the purchase request in the source system to reflect the approved status, and the request is processed accordingly. The employee then gets a confirmation message stating that the request has been approved. This can also be customized to send an email out at any point in the process to relevant stakeholders to inform them about this purchase requisition request, or even to include other systems as part of this process that may differ from organization to organization. One example is to complete the end-to-end flow and send periodic updates to the relevant stakeholders throughout the process, whether it's via email, SMS, or notifications through a collaboration tool. Another example is to extend the approval processes to include multiple levels or hierarchy of approvals that an organization may require as part of their purchase requisition process. This example shows how we can translate the current business processes or requirements into an automated process where stakeholders do not have to remember what the actual process is, and to simply follow the orchestrated flow designed in the integration or automation tool. And that brings us to the end of the demo of how we can promote self-service amongst employees in an organization through the power of automation in a purchase requisition scenario. Thank you.
So coming back to this demo that we have just shown you, you would observe a couple of things. First of all, how we have simplified and automated the purchase requisition process just on one single UI or one place, right? One window that you are doing it without the need to logging into the multiple applications that you will need normally to do to send a request, chase it up, get it approved, check for update itself. So all just done within just one window. And the automation integration platform would help you connect to the respective application behind. Secondly, you'll find that employee now can raise a purchase request, on a collaboration platform like Microsoft Teams, or you may be using others like Slack or Workplace, which will work, similarly, and can get it approved by their manager anytime, anywhere, using any devices, right? So now it becomes very mobile, very flexible, and very agile. You do not have to log into multiple applications, remember which menu, which application, which field to click. You don't have to chase, because if there's anything that you need to notify, alert you, the automation platform will track for you. Also, you do not have to go for the job, because just now when I submit a purchase requisition on the manager, they will be notified that, hey, there is a purchase request needed for your approval. So the work comes to you, and you don't have to chase after the work. You'll find that a lot of the time, this is actually self-service. It covers end-to-end throughout all the applications that you needed to connect through. You can do straight through. So for example, if the purchase request is under certain value, and if it comes from certain category of employee, you could just go straight through, approve it, and order it without going through approval. But however, if it's a different category of product or different value, that's where you say that, okay, I will need a managerial approval before proceeding, right? So self-service, straight through, end-to-end. Now, the biggest interesting thing that we've gotten feedback from customer using such a solution is that now it not only greatly simplified the process, reduce human errors, connected, the need to pass on handoff, chasing approval. But today, I may be using, QuickBook, or a Zero accounting software. Tomorrow, as my business grows, I will be using NetSuite, which has very comprehensive capability and functionality, and allow us to grow with, this application. You will realize that your front-end process, that is what you have just seen, do not change, right? And all we need to do is connect to the new applications that you have procured to replace your existing accounting software. This greatly simplified the learning curve of all your employee. And again, of course, it will boost up the efficiency and effectiveness of getting their tasks done, right? So this is what, would like to summarize a couple of points over here. The next...
the demo we're going to be looking at today.
Sorry. The next demo I'd like to do is more towards the HR area, just to give you a variety of it. So maybe let me just get on to showing you. Similarly, it is a demo of a pay time off automation, working with an automation integration platform using Microsoft Teams as the single UI.
The demo we're going to be looking at today is how we can use an integration automation tool to promote self-service amongst employees in an organization by bringing all of the work into a collaboration tool and effectively a single window itself. Specifically, we'll be looking at how an employee can request for PTO, which is paid time off, or very simply, how an employee can take leave. We start by keying in a command to communicate with a chatbot or a third-party application that's installed on this collaboration tool. And this is to kickstart our self-service requests. The chatbot will then post a message back containing a list of requests segregated by the department and category for us to choose. In this scenario, we're going to be looking at the human resource or the HR category and PTO as the request. So let's click on HR and click on Submit. And now we're presented with a list of requests that are under the HR category, and we'll simply click on the PTO button. Through the power of an integration tool, we can now retrieve the data from a HR system to pull the requester's remaining leave balances and display it within the chat window. In this example, we're actually getting data from Workday, but this can be pulled from any other HR system or database of your choice. We now have the option to click on yes to request for time off or no to simply cancel the request and return to the main menu. By clicking on yes, we can leverage the collaboration tool's capabilities to provide user inputs from the requester, and this is to specify details of the PTO such as when the start and end date is, the type of leave requested, and also additional comments for the manager to read before he or she makes a decision whether to approve or reject this PTO. Upon submitting the request, this is then escalated through the collaboration tool to a channel or directly into the manager's chat. Now simulating the manager, we receive a message with all the PTO details and also the option to approve or reject this request. If we look at the message, we will note that the requester's details that was keyed in previously are accurate and brought over into this message right here. You'll also note that there was some calculation done to calculate the number of days between the two dates, being the start and the end date. By clicking on the Approve button, the HR system now gets updated with the new leave balance after deducting the requested days. The chatbot then posts a message back to the manager to signify that the request has been completed. Now back to the employee's chat window. The employee receives a confirmation message that the PTO has now been approved and can proceed to block his or her calendar out and actually take leave. This can also be customized to send an email out at any point of the process to inform relevant stakeholders of this PTO, or to even include other systems as part of the process that may differ from organization to organization. Some examples could be automatically blocking the employee's calendar out for the duration of the PTO, and also inviting his or her team members into that calendar block for visibility purposes. Another example would be to extend the approval process to include multiple levels or hierarchy of approvals that an organization may require as part of the employee PTO process. These examples show how we can translate the current business processes and requirements into an automated process where stakeholders do not have to remember what the process is and to simply follow the orchestrated flow designed in the integration or automation tool. And this brings us to the end of the demonstration of how we can promote self-service amongst employees in an organization through the power of automation. Thank you.
So again, on this illustration, similar to previous, you'll see how self-service, end-to-end and straight-through are being achieved via automation and integration without the need of logging into multiple applications, chasing people up. You will automatically be notified, when a task has completed and needed your action to be on it. And this greatly simplified, the whole processes itself. Just wanted to share a customer, a true story, right? This customer has used similar automation in their environment, and in one of the webinar that they are presenting, the HR director actually was sharing that the story from one of her staff, and this is actually a company in Thailand. The staff was sharing with the HR director that on a weekend, after the dinner, while they are heading home on the car in Bangkok, of course traffic is better right now, not so much jam. They have a good dinner with the family, and they start talking about, hey, we have not go for holiday for a while. Should we plan for some trip? And as they discuss, the employee just pick up the mobile phone and say that, okay, let's go and apply leave for this day, and then let's go with plan. And what she does is that she straight away key in the date that she wanted to apply, submit it in. And interestingly, the manager happens, to be on the mobile devices, received the the request and approve it right away. And the husband is totally amazed. And he was commenting that even in a big company of us, we do not have such automation and benefit for the employee, because this is largely being seen as a well-being for employee as well, right? Now, you have seen how we have done finance and HR, and you have seen the drop-down menu of it. You can actually go across different departments. You can now let your imagination run wild a bit and think of the area where you have a lot of manual work, manual process, manual approval process in your environment in different functional area that you can automate across all of these other business area itself, right?
The demo we're going to be looking at.
To summarize, this is my last slide. According to Gartner, automation and integration is one of the key critical success factor of any transformation initiative. And you already seen how automations and integration help increase the productivity and reduce human error, increase customer acquisition and reduce costs by purely improving customer experience and customer satisfaction. Definitely you maximize the power of all the applications and technology that you have invested in, so that you can get the whole is bigger than the sum of each part. You have more consistency in process and customer experience. All this will deliver the desired outcome of increasing revenue and delighting customers. So with this, I hope you enjoy the demo and hope that demo give you a better understanding on how automation and integration can help with your various silo system today, the various manual tasks that you may be facing, how automation and integration platform can help you connect and converge all the application in your environment with workflow to improve all this benefit that you see in this slide itself. So with this, I would hand it back to Chris.
Thank you, James. Thanks for the sharing. It's been very insightful, basically. So, Peter, any final words from you before we end the session, before we move on to James on today's topic? Yeah.
I think the last word from me is consider some of the things I mentioned, and if you do have any questions you'd like to know a little bit more, please reach out to myself or to SCCCI. You have our contacts. I'm more than happy to answer any queries. All right. Thank you, Chris.
Thanks. James, over to you. Any final words?
Yeah, similarly, if you wanted to learn how other people have leveraged automation integration solution to automate their processes in different functional area, yeah, feel free to reach out. We have a lot of those that we can share with you, and hopefully some of them give you a new idea of how you could improve your efficiency, productivity, cut costs, and help you to grow even faster in this cloud era itself. So thank you very much again, for all of your attending this webinar, and thanks, Chris.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, James. That's the end of the session. So I think I would like to thank our speakers over here, Peter and James, for joining us in today's session. I think I just want to echo out some final words from the government. Is that the government is, I think the Singapore government is one of the most pro-government, right? That actually have grants available for companies out there to adopt ERP system. No other countries in the world actually does that. So I think that's where, I think bearing on this note, it's also important to also consider why you are making the leap. So I hope with what Peter has shared, the hot tips, why should you do that? And also what you should look out for when actually considering on an ERP, not just an ERP, but cloud ERP system. Take all these into consideration and actually see how you can actually grow your business and cut those costs. So especially when existingly you're already dealing with a lot of systems, you can actually consider tools like Walkator to actually see how to automate things and streamline even further. So with that, we end today's session. Thank you all for joining us.